Gang, gang, gang.
Hello, and welcome to the WLTM radio show thing.
Not to be confused with the thing.
Also, not to be confused with the podcast, because we're definitely not a podcast. We listen to music, and we talk about it, and you can too, because Cruz one day will eventually post on his Twitter about the albums that we do the next week. But it doesn't matter. Even if you don't listen to it, we're just gonna shit on all of them anyway. So there's really no point in any of them.
Yeah, I actually don't. We never like any of the albums, and if we do, we say, "Yeah, I liked it."
Yeah. I mean, we don't say shit when we like it.
So the strat to have a longer, more entertaining piece of media is to put out garbage. We love
Just to
garbage.
let Cameron pick an album every week.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let Alex pick an album anyway.
Oh, for either Black History Month or Hispanic Heritage Month, we should do one person picks all 4 albums and we switch out each week.
What is Hispanic? Isn't that like September?
Yeah.
Black
No.
History Month is February.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
We-
we'll have a 2-month event every year, and
That'll be a super
Get ready. Get ready. I like that idea. We're doing it.
Black
Just get ready.
History Month is what 4 months? 4 months away.
3 months away, yeah.
3.
Well, anyway,
Like 2.5. Anyway,
So-
that's a real one.
as always, we got you got me, Jack, aka Dank. You got Alex. Say
Thank
something.
God it's Friday.
Thank God it is Friday. He's Big Al. You got Cruz the Ruse.
You know me, always wearing sleeves.
And we got Cameron killed in action.
Yeah.
I'm a sick fan.
Alright,
like
who's going
Bow.
going first?
Yeah.
Who wants?
I want Jack to go first.
Alright, Jack,
Alright.
first.
I
Alright.
also want Jack to go first.
Damn.
Yeah.
Take us to church, Jack.
Damn it, church.
Take us to
Album I
Starburst.
picked. The album I picked is The Bones of What You Believe. The first album by the
That is the name of the album.
Scottish synth pop band
Oh, they're Scottish. Yuck.
Churches.
tell?
Churches
No.
with a B.
The fuck? I don't know what Scottish people sound like.
Yeah,
She's
same.
female too.
Actually,
yeah,
if
she
you,
is female. That is a very astute observation.
If you
Cameron.
listen to it again, knowing that she's Scottish, you'll pick up on like the small.
I probably
little
will, yeah.
Things that she.
I thought she was English at first, but then I read and saw that she was Scottish.
Yes, but anyway, they're a synth pop band, 3-piece.
Ugh. Don't you listen to synth pop, Elon?
We'll get to that. We will get to that. Do
What
not
the fuck
worry.
is your deal, dog? You're fucking swinging already.
But yeah, so this album was kind of a big deal. Not really, but it was like I've heard nothing about the 2 albums that they made after this, except for the fact that the third one has a really cringy cover. But you know, I listened to this about when it came out. I don't know how I found it. I remember seeing some shit about it on SoundCloud. I was on SoundCloud listening to mostly electronic music at the time, and you know, kind of that's how I probably found out about these guys. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about them other than the fact that they are a synth pop band that with a female singer and
Yes.
two male instrumentalists, one of whom sings occasionally.
Tragically.
Tragically, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Most-
Incredibly tragically.
Most people agree with that. Yeah, there's also a lot of shit posting about this band for 2 very different reasons on 4chan, but I'm sure we'll get to that. How do you guys like it?
So. I want you to know, Jack. Alright, listen. I tried, okay? I tried really hard with every fiber of my being to dislike this album. Alright?
Oh!
Yes.
Alright, but
Yes.
like I was sitting there fucking shaving. And like I was sitting there, I was like, this shit is garbage.
You shave sitting
But-
down?
No. Oh, fair. I mean, I was sitting vertically,
That's the
I
alpha
guess.
move, honestly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you want to think about it? But I was standing there, and I was like, no, don't like it. Give it a 2. Give it a 2. But then I started fucking jumping around and shit. And, like, unfortunately, I was going to come here and say that this would be a 3 if it were just some random-ass album. But I can't do that to you, because that's just kind of unfair. So I have to say, incredibly regrettably, that I like this album. Very unfortunately.
One thing to note for the future of this specific episode is that it's tragic that Jack gets a good score. Because he has to try, but he tries very, very hard to not like Jack's album, but isn't able to. But when he tries very, very hard to not like my album,
I succeed every time.
We all have a prediction.
So this means that the streak has not been broken. It is still dislike for me regarding Jack's albums, which is quite humorous. And whenever the guy sang, it made me cringe.
Amen.
I'm pretty sure Miss Mayberry was like just sick those days.
Well, I think the guy was like, "Hey, we're only playing the instruments. Do you like?" And then she's like, "Well, what do you mean? Do I want you to sing?"
Is that what Scottish sounds like?
Yeah, and then she was like, "I'm gonna go to the loo," and the guy just came in and said,
I'm gonna go to the loo.
He recorded 3 tracks while she was gone, and they.
Oh yeah, like it's like 3.5. Like
yeah,
and it's like a little.
When they got to the track listing, he was like, "I'm gonna put my song at the end because it'll be a lot better, and then it ruins the end of the album for you."
Yeah, it actually ruins the end of the album. I was gonna come here and say that it's a 2 because he gets the last song.
All the tension that we've been building.
But I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
I mean, you can just click that one off.
I have taken to skipping the 2 songs where he's the solo vocalist every time I listen to this album.
Yeah, that seems like the good move.
And he almost ruined a song I actually like too by having backing vocals.
Most of the time, his backing vocals are alright, but there are some where it's like, ooh, yeah. If you mind me asking, why did you not want to like this album?
So
every album this week, including his own. That'll be the week all 0.
I can't wait. Oh, that'll be lit. So, as y'all may know, Miss Lauren Mayberry, or Laverne, as some certain individuals call her that need to be exposed for.
That's pretty funny.
Like, she is a member of what I like to call the Big 3. Containing her and Grimes.
Oh no!
And Sarah of KKB. So
what does his Big 3 do?
The Big 3 is so you go on mute. You know, there's there's a chart thread, and then there's a bunch of bullshit threads that no one cares about.
Always.
And then there's a thread. It's the synth pop in general. Except, let me tell you, the last thing they ever talk about on that thread is the genre of synth pop. It is just this bitch's face on the OP picture.
Saying, listen to synth pop.
And it's just, do y'all listen to synth pop anons? And then the whole thread is just about her, who she's fucking, what she's doing, the size of her left fucking what's it called, ovary? Okay, like
why the left one?
And like you tell me, Cruz. Like, why don't you ask them?
Okay.
So it's just a bunch of Jack's cohorts, like twiddling their penis. Cohort, I don't fucking care. Carhartt,
core horse.
Twiddling their micro penises over this female. Okay, and it gives me cancer.
She's not even that hot.
Yeah, but
have you noticed any particular mentions of a person named Brandon in those threads?
You mean Crusher?
I know Crusher. I know Crusher. I'm not familiar with Brandon.
Okay. we'll get to Brandon. I'll let
Okay,
you guys
okay.
finish just telling me what you guys liked or did not like about the Cruise. How'd you feel?
I kind of like the album. Thought it was fucking groovy. So my favorite song is Recover, because I can sing to
Based.
it.
That's up there for sure.
That's based. Recover is the best song on the album.
But the other ones, I didn't mind anything at all. The last song's rough. Like the one song he sings, like besides the last one, is fine. And then
It's not as rough.
He does
They
backup vocals in some of the other ones, but the last song is not very good. It's not. It's very, very hard to be like, okay, I walked away with a great experience. Like, at least do the second to last song. Like, give me like a palate cleanser after.
No, yeah, don't even do that, because the thing about it being the last song is that watch this. It has a check mark.
Yeah, check it.
Oh, where'd it go? Oh, it's gone. Oh, that's crazy. See, that's why it's the last song. That one is a 42-minute album.
I'm now realizing that I made a slight mistake with my listening this week.
Oh wow! So
I didn't listen to it in the playlist, so when I clicked, I listened to the bonus
12 through
tracks
16.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, this, like, if I had I actually have a note here that says that, like, if I had just bought the album, the original issue, I would have been upset that was the last song, and like the fact that there was bonus tracks, at least if that wasn't the last song. But the bonus tracks aren't that great either. Honestly,
I didn't even listen to those.
They're
I
forgettable.
don't care. I don't particularly care for them, so that's why
they're okay.
didn't bother to.
But it wasn't as bad that his song was the last song on the album, because there was still 5 more to go. 4 more to go.
Jesus.
You were granted reprieve.
Yeah, thank God. God
In
bless.
some sense.
Yeah, I think I would listen to this again. I like it.
That's nice.
Yeah, I listened to some of the songs again. The notable songs were, like, there are probably like 3 or 4. It was like The Mother We Share, Recover, Maybe Gun, and then one other. I forget what the one other was. It was after Recover, I believe, like one of those. But I remember liking one of them, but I can't remember what it was right now.
My favorites were Mother We Share, Recover, and Night Sky, because that's like one of the catchiest songs I've heard in my entire life.
Yeah, there are songs that I don't like on this album that much either. This was never been like a this is an absolute favorite for me. This is just like something that, like, within the genre, I think is pretty good. And I've always thought that there are certain tracks that are just like lesser, that aren't even the 2 that where the guy sings, right? Like, I've never particularly cared for Tether or for what's the other one?
Is it Under the Tide?
Under the Tide is the one he sings, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that one smells bad.
Yeah, weaponized Tide Pods against my ears.
Yeah, that's yeah. Those 2 are rough, and I also don't particularly like, there are songs on this album that I think are just like very much stronger than the rest, particularly Recover and Lungs and Lies. I also like The Mother We Share. The Mother We Share is like their big single, kind of.
It's a really good opening track.
Yeah.
Which makes the closing track even worse.
Yeah, that's unlucky.
Oh yeah, Lungs was the other song I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Because the drums bang.
And he bangs the drums.
Yeah, and he hits him.
Yeah, he bangs the drum, and the other guy's not singing, so it works out.
I'm no expert on modern synth pop, so this was kind of a pretty new experience for me, and I was a big fan. I really like what CHVRCHES is doing here. I don't necessarily I don't know. I think that she does a very good job. I think she's a very good singer, and I like I think that her vocal performance and characteristics is really suited for a genre like this. Like, I don't actually know how she would do if she had like live instruments and shit, and if it wasn't a lot of just electronic stuff. But I think that I think it's a really good thing. She's a pop star with this, and it works because she can actually kind of sing, and her Scottish accent only comes out sometimes, and when it does, it's kind of cute. It's like, damn, after they say an American, she goes, bringing me Dion, something like this. I heard it on that kind of sound, and
Yeah.
I thought that was cool because that's like
It's ethnic.
normally vocals for me are like vocal performances are like the bottleneck for stuff. Where I end up usually just like if I listen too closely, I find something I don't like. But I was listening very closely, and I found stuff like that I thought was interesting and kind of made me want to listen more, rather than hearing it and being like, damn, he's got a fucking Boston accent. Let's stop him singing, please.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
No fucking CS:GO accents.
Yeah, he doesn't have a CS:GO accent. Which I thought was, I thought it was good.
Hey, yo, Mr. Stark, you've been so kind.
Yeah, you've been so kind to me, Mr. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, Cameron, do you know that Spider-Man's from Boston?
You know
I know he's in the grave now.
And he doesn't have the fucking accent. It's so not akin to my culture. You should be talking like, oh, yo, Mr. Stark, you've been so kind.
Pizza time.
Oh, shit.
But as far as synth pop goes, this is obviously like the best songs on this album are like really good, and then the other ones are just like mad whatever. But this is still like, to me, it's like miles behind Charlie XCX's debut album, which one day I will pick, but not yet, because I can't just pick it next week. Because fuck you.
Oh, you already got something picked out for next week?
No, I'm not gonna pick it next week because it's like the same
I'd
genre.
say do you already have something picked out for next week?
Oh no, no, not yet.
I always fucking last minute that shit.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't have shit else to say about this. I didn't know she was Scottish.
Y'all don't pronounce it CHVRCHES?
No.
I decided to spare you guys by not calling it CHVRCHES and calling her Lavrin.
Lavrin is
every time I've read it in my head, I was like, that's CHVRCHES.
Well, and that's why you're. Yeah, never mind.
Before this, I only heard of like one of their songs.
I know I had heard that. It's one of those names that like I know I see everywhere and hear about, but I didn't even know what kind of music it was, like until I listened to it. I was expecting to put this on and hear some like weird fucking dude like punk rock or something. Like that was like I didn't know anything. And then I was shocked because this was like, wow, this is Jack music.
I heard Leave a Trace, which is not on this album.
I'm already Tracer.
Shut up.
That's so big funny.
Oh, the other night, me and Matt watched TikTok meme compilations for like 2 hours.
They're pretty amusing.
It's the new Vine comps.
Yeah. It came back in a darker form.
Yeah. One podcast will pick only TikTok songs.
TikTok meme songs.
Yeah.
Can't
we'll
wait.
Do 4 of those, and we can do it the same day.
Oh, that'll be exciting. But speaking of memes, Brandon.
Yeah, who's Brandon?
Okay, so as Cameron said, there's a lot of waifu faggotry in this genre because a lot of the artists are
bunch of Japanese people
or females. So you've got a lot of people just going online and posting pictures of the girls and being like, oh wow, she's so cute, don't you listen to her? That's cancer enough as it is. But there's this guy. So do you guys know how trip codes work on 4chan, where it's like you can put your name to identify you within the thread,
Yeah.
So there's this guy who would always go in the church's threads, who's named Brandon, who had a very creepy obsession with Lavrin.
She's not even that cute.
She also looks like she's like 15 years old.
And she looks like she's Scottish too. She's
But
15 and Scottish.
So so Brandon is like, he's weirdly obsessive, but he's insisting in all the threads that he actually knows her and that he's talking to her and that he's trying to. That he's actually
it's like the Ronald Reagan girl or dude.
he's like insisting like, yeah, I'm gonna be dating Lavrin, you know, or some shit like that, and it becomes apparent that someone who Brandon knows Lauren, and like he's like sending her messages on like Twitter and shit, and it just gets to this point where like she realizes there's a creepy guy, blocks him on Twitter, and that's the all interaction she's ever had with him. But he insists there was more. He's always like, you know,
Yeah, he fucked her and then she doesn't.
there.
He didn't call her back and she got mad and blocked him, dude.
he was always like, I'm there, I'm so close. But yeah, so as far as it is known, the only interaction he ever had with her is her blocking him on Twitter.
Only confirmed interaction.
Only confirmed interaction.
Yeah, do you think that Lavrin, if had she interacted with this man, would come out and talk about it? No way.
But so like every single one of the threads, it's like half of it is like, do you think this song is about Brandon?
Do you think this song's about Brandon?
Do you think she thinks about Brandon at night? And just shit like that. It's so, and then he's still there. He's still on 4chan. He's still going in the threads, identifying himself as Brandon and saying, "Hey guys, that's not nice."
It could be someone else doing it too. They could be Brandon impersonators.
It could very easily be a Brandon impersonator, but there's
that
no
would
way.
just be so deep. There's just like people. There's like a Discord, like a community.
If the first Brandon
being Brandon.
If the first Brandon is real, there's no way that he would let people get away with the Brandon impersonations. That's on
he sees
site.
the thread and this nigga's impersonating. He's at their necks. So
yeah, like you don't understand that because he doesn't want Lavrin to think that they're the ones that are
What if
talking.
someone impersonates? What if there's a Brandon impersonator and then there's a Brandon impersonator that's trying to be the real Brandon and like is coming at the Brandon impersonator?
What I'm saying is I think that what he would say is if a Brandon impersonator says something bad about Lauren, real Brandon wouldn't want Brandon impersonator to think that to have Lauren think that real Brandon said it when it was an impersonator. So he'd be like,
I don't think Miss Mayberry cares.
That's the kind of thinking that Brandon actually.
Yeah,
that's Brandon's the kind of person who has that kind of.
He has the idea that she's gonna read this thread that he's posted in about her.
Right.
And when I said the Ronald Reagan thing, I meant the dude that
thing?
No, the dude that tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan did it because he thought that an actress that he was obsessed with wanted him to try to kill the president. So that's what I mean. It's that kind of like they met once in like a deli or something, and then he was like, we fell in love, and she's been giving me signals ever since in her movies. So that's the kind of thing. Brandon met this woman at a coffee shop or something, and then she was like, "Cool, you're a fan," and he's like, "We're gonna have kids one day."
Do we know that guy who tried to kill Ronald Reagan is dead?
Is he dead? I don't know.
It could be Brandon.
It's not Brandon.
Have you ever seen them in the same room?
The guy's name's not Brandon.
And?
His name was John Hinckley Jr.
Yeah, no, you're not going to go on 4chan and be like, yeah, I'm John Hinckley Jr., the guy who tried to kill Ronald Reagan.
John Hinckley Jr. is in,
prison probably
he's out of prison. That was 2 years ago. Good for him.
Alright, so when did churches blow up?
2013?
2013?
5 years ago.
Damn, that's...
Well,
they got internet in prison.
But anyway, so a lot of the specific shitposting about churches is about Brandon. And if you go into the threads, it's like half the posts are about like, you know, Brandon. And then Brandon will come in and be like, guys, it's not nice for you guys to do this. You know, Lauren's a nice girl, you know. You can't be like doing these shitposts. And it's like, he's that kind of person who just like,
he's so weird.
So weird. It's good. It's good stuff. But yeah, that's...
Yeah, some gay shit.
Thank God we have internet history class.
Thank God for 4chan.
Yeah, thank
God for Anonymous.
When are we getting sponsored?
We're not getting sponsored.
We literally spam. Every episode we have not gone without mentioning you or 4chan.
Fortnite Burger.
Yeah, Fortnite Burger.
Fortnite Burger, okay.
Fortnite Burger with the Szechuan sauce. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a Szechuan.
I don't know how to say it.
Beam me up, Morty.
I refuse to know how to say it.
Oriental sauce. It's
Gene sauce.
The Orientine.
Gene sauce. Don't do it to him. Alright, who wants to go next?
Does anybody have anything else closing to say about churches?
Um,
I'm where it's cool.
Brandon.
Brandon.
There's this gay nigga at the grocery store named Brennan. He was telling me some funny shit. That's my closing.
Does he work at the grocery store? Or just
yeah, he works at the grocery store. Yeah, he works at the grocery store. He always has some.
Brennan.
Yeah, shout out to Brennan. He always has something funny to say.
Hell yeah.
He was talking about injecting maple syrup and shit, like eating snow. So.
Well, that'll start up soon.
Yeah, shout out Brennan.
Hopefully. God damn.
Would anybody like to go next? Cruz, do you want to go next?
I guess we can go next. Alright, so I picked the an album by the Five
Also a
Corners
synth-pop
Quintet.
album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, also a synth. Yeah, every album this week was a synth pop album.
It's a synth pop album by the Five Corners Quintet called "Chasing the Jazz Gone By."
There's a peculiar name for a synth pop album. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, I agree. But
It's a real departure from the genre.
It's not a jazz genre, a jazz album, jazz genre at all. But to be honest, every genre is just a jazz genre, jazz subgenre. If we're gonna be fucking real here.
I would argue about that, but that's fair.
But I picked this album because I was trying to get into jazz, and then
you like jazz?
Yeah, you like jazz. That was gonna be my opener, and I fucking forgot. And I don't know how I got to Timo Lassie. Because I listened to Thelonious and I listened to Kinda Blue and it kinda sucks. And just because it's popular doesn't mean it's good, Jack. And then
I'm just saying it's a good meme. Saying it's Kinda Blue kinda sucks.
Kinda sucks, you like that?
Yeah,
so yeah, I somehow got to my boy Timo Lassie, a Swedish horn player. I don't know what fucking horn he plays, but you can hear him on this album fucking killing it. And I was gonna put his album I like called Touch of Red, I think. Or no, it's In With Lassie. That's the album I like. In With Lassie, and my favorite song is Touch of Red. But he is in this quintet. So it's a Swedish jazz album with my boy Timo Lassie, and I don't know, I kind of enjoy it.
I didn't know jazz was a synth pop subgenre.
Yeah.
You do now.
Whoever said it was a synth pop album.
Yeah, that was me. I think.
So, as the person who listens to the most jazz here, what did you think, Cameron?
As the resident Negro.
Save it for the podcast.
I don't know what to say about it except for the B movie.
It is yellow. It is yellow.
Oh shit, you right.
we are representing
Yeller feller. So I mean, like, I thought it was good. Like, I don't really know what to say. I thought when there was lyrics, it was less interesting. Jamming was cool. Like in the beginning, we used like just saying words, but then the other times there's lyrics, it was it made the songs worse. But past that, it was just some like semi-pleasant jazz. It was more than semi-pleasant, but I liked it, so I gave it a 3. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It's just like
you didn't want to dislike this one.
No, I listened to it and yeah, it was chill. I gave it a 3. My grandfather is a drummer in a jazz band.
Is it this jazz band?
No, it is not this jazz band.
That would have been cool.
That would be very interesting. But I listened to one of their albums. It was good, but I couldn't procure it. Probably if I could, I'd probably like pick it. But it's also not gonna be on Spotify.
Unlucky.
But yeah, that's all I have to say.
Tell your fucking granddad to put it on fucking Spotify.
Yeah,
upload it to Spotify. Get with the times, old man.
Yeah.
Get with
How many times do I have to teach you this lesson?
Holy shit! Whoa! It's on Spotify. Wait. They put it on Spotify. Wait.
How many monthly listeners?
Okay. Search. Go on Spotify. Search Russo Alberts Trio.
I can't type. It's too loud.
I got you. Russo Alberts Trio.
Yeah. There's Russo. There's Alberts. There's Russo. There's Alberts, and there's my grandfather.
Is he the one sitting down? Or is he the one?
No. My grandfather's the black person in the middle.
Oh, I see the album cover you're looking at now.
Were they signed?
They got
I
2
don't
monthly
know.
listeners.
Hey, well, they're about to have a second volume.
Last time I checked, which is like probably like 3 years ago or some shit, they weren't on here, but they're on here now.
Because
So
they might have just sold their rights to some company and they just fucking uploaded to get ad revenue.
yeah, there's that too. Who knows? But anyways, yeah, like if you listen to the album, my grandfather plays drums. I'll probably pick it at some
You should
point.
definitely talk to him about it.
Yeah, see what he thinks about the
Next
Five
time-
Corners Jazz Quintet.
Yeah, also that. I think the
That's
major
an
problem
idea.
with picking a jazz album is that none of us listen to jazz,
I listen to jazz.
and
I listen
Oh,
to
okay,
Five Corners
okay,
Jazz
Mr.
Quintet.
Jazz.
I
Expert.
listened to
Yeah, I
the
actually
Russo
listened to-
Alberts trio.
did I
Yeah.
say that I listen to jazz? I
listen
said
to so
none
much
of us
jazz
listen to
that'll-
jazz.
It'll
Yeah, I was
make your
talking
head
to Alex,
spin.
who said he did.
Oh,
I listen to so much jazz that it's basically all I listen to.
yeah,
I have entire playlists dedicated to jazz. I have one called Music to
Groupers
Listen
Jazz,
to.
yes.
I have a post-rock jazz playlist.
Mm.
On a serious note, I quite enjoyed this album. I thought that, contrary to Cameron's thesis, I thought the
My
singing.
thesis.
I think some of the singing songs are okay. One of my favorite songs on the album is "This Could Be the Start of Something." I really liked just kind of the. It was very, this might be me being a little out there, but it was a little very jazzy. I like that song a lot. The thing is, I didn't like Before We Say Goodbye, which had a kind of similar lyrical tone, but I just didn't think the instrumentation was as interesting or as like upbeat. So I ended up deciding that on this album I liked the jazz upbeat songs more than the jazz ballads. So I like that song. My favorite, and well, I also really like. I don't know if it's a xylophone or if it's wood blocks or what it is, but that little,
Oh, the
that
sound
instrument.
of 3 corners.
huh?
Yeah,
The one,
yeah.
it was on This Could Be the Start of Something as well.
Oh, I noticed it on 3 corners a lot.
I don't know if it's I don't. I can't. I'm not very good at differentiating between the different kinds of. You hit the thing with mallets if it's a xylophone or wood blocks or if it's like a marimba or something. Whatever it is, that's a really cool sound, and I thought it fit really well. And I really, really, really loved the drumming on Unsquare Bossa. I thought that was really impressive and very groovy, and had some really cool patterns and rhythms, which that's the most of the jazz I listen to is just a lot of jazz solo drummers, or they have their group or whatever. Because I think that's one of my favorite instruments. So it was cool that they had some good drumming on here. But I would agree with Cameron that on the song Before We Say Goodbye, him singing kind of ruined it a little bit. Because I don't think he's an amazing singer, but I don't think you need to be an amazing singer. But I feel like if you're not an amazing singer and then you sing a boring song, it's like it just kind of takes off a little bit. But I overall thought it was really good. I thought that the instruments they played very well, and they kind of had a really good chemistry, where it wasn't like I was only focusing on one instrument the whole time. And I like that they didn't put every instrument on every track, because I felt like that might have got a little. Like I feel like I might not have liked the xylophone / wood blocks / marimba as much if it was on every song. But I thought it was really cool that they kind of picked their spot for it. He came in one day, everyone was like, "We're gonna have you play 2 of these," and he said, "Okay, you got it." I wasn't there. I don't know exactly what he said, but that's my guess.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I was there.
But what did you think, Jack, as the other resident jazz expert?
Oh,
Daft Punk being one of your favorites.
Yeah,
Daft
Jacob
Punk-
Collier enthusiast.
That is true, actually.
I don't actually. Yeah, so I don't actually listen to jazz much.
You don't like jazz?
I don't. I mean, I enjoy quite a bit of the jazz I have listened to, including this. But I feel like I have like the most. I have no idea what I'm talking about or what I am listening to when I listen to jazz. It's like I can tell
Well,
you
it's not
that I
just
like.
jazz.
I can tell you that I like this a lot, but I couldn't like. I wouldn't even be able to tell you like if this was like a certain subgenre of jazz, which according to Rate Your Music, it's not. It's just jazz.
Oh, thank God.
Wow.
That gets some clarification there.
Yeah, I
was so hoping
I don't
that
know
there was
what-
actually it was like bop or big band or something. But it's
Yeah,
just
post-bop or some
jazz.
shit.
It's jazz.
It says the it says jazz, vocal jazz, cool jazz. So if it's any subgenre, it's cool jazz.
Wow. The
Um,
cool jazz.
How appropriate, because it was.
Fortnite jazz.
Fortnite, yeah.
you say
Jazz to play
Fortnite-
Fortnite too.
I hate Fortnite so much.
Why?
Because
Fortnite ruined jazz.
Fortnite ruined Jazz, that's why.
You heard it here first.
Hell yeah.
These views do
Oh.
reflect the views of the Board of Trustees.
Fortnite is a plague. It
Oh.
needs to be procured.
But anyway, yeah. I kind of I don't agree with Cameron about the vocals. I enjoyed the vocals on. Well, I enjoyed the 2 tracks of the female vocals a lot. For
Yeah,
the
Oko,
guy for the
Oko.
for the male vocals, I also did not like Before We Say Goodbye. But I like the other 2. So yeah, I enjoyed the vocals tracks. This is like what I do like this enough that like I would be very interested in listening to other jazz that sounds like this because
Good, it's called jazz.
or cool jazz.
There's a lot of
Cool
it.
jazz.
yeah, but yeah. So I guess I should listen to Timo Lassie.
I played a couple songs for you in the car.
Yeah, I know, and I thought that stuff was good too. So I mean,
I think it's interesting that they're a Swedish jazz ensemble, because jazz is always seen as a very
American.
is an American art form.
and
But-
and some kind of specifically an African American art form in a
Yeah,
lot of ways.
Yeah, I want to bring that up
Um,
because Jack doesn't think they had those in Sweden.
They don't.
I mean,
They don't have
I
African Americans in Sweden.
That's true. They have actually. I stand corrected. Actually, I'm sorry. I
They
apologize.
could be African Sweden.
Yeah, you're actually right.
Swedish, I don't know.
I was gonna say, because I think it's something that I've come to find out more recently, is that there's actually a lot of prominent jazz musicians who aren't American. I found out that one jazz drummer that I quite like is actually Swiss, and he performs at the Swiss Jazz Band. So I think it's cool that such a lame, like in theory, out of touch with the youth sort of thing is still kind of, percolating around the world sphere, and that we can listen to it due to the beauty of Spotify.
Hell yeah, we live in the greatest time period.
Amen. Born
yeah.
too late to explore the earth, too soon to
Mhm.
explore space, just right to explore jazz on Spotify. And really, what other
Amen.
timeline would you want to live in?
Yeah, I
Type
kind of
shit.
that was actually something I was thinking about while listening to this. Is that like jazz today is often like thought of as
Old man
Damn,
music.
Old man music, that's what I was gonna say.
not just as old man music, but also like music
Dead man
jerk-off
music.
music.
Oh yeah, if you like jazz, it's because you're a snob.
Yeah, you're a
Old
snob who went to
nigga.
you're a snob who went to music school and knows everything about music, and it's just like
Mhm.
okay,
And you watch Whiplash.
you watch Whiplash, and so yeah, so it's
Mhm.
interesting because like I'm sure that the snobs would think something like this might be basic or something, but I'm not sure if they would actually say that, but I feel like they might, especially since some of them are vocal tracks,
Because us peons enjoy it.
Yes, because us peons enjoy it. Yeah, so but like when I try to listen to like the stuff that they do jerk off again about, it's like I have to agree with Cruz a bit. That kind of blue is kind of shit. Maybe that, and that probably is just me being fucking dumb and not knowing anything about music. But
Not
But I
fucking
feel
music.
like if you have to know about music for it to be good, then that's unfair to you as the listener. They should make it accessible enough that you can at least understand what they're going for. They shouldn't make it deliberately hyper deceitful. You shouldn't have to have a music degree to listen to an album.
Amen.
Maybe to go see a performance, but not to listen to an album. Thelonious should have just done Gangnam Style, and maybe we would have liked it.
God, I love Thelonious though. Thelonious sounds so good.
I love Gangnam Style.
Gangnam Style sounds so good.
Amen.
Jazz is just American K-pop.
Yep.
I don't know where that one's coming from, but
Because people
It's coming from the
people-
truth.
People who are from foreign countries don't really understand what's going on, but they really, really like it for some reason.
okay.
And
I
those are
feel
the
like I
K-pop
know
that
exactly
I'm
what's
at.
going on with K-pop. I just can't
Yeah.
really sing the lyrics,
Yeah.
but like I know
No,
what's
that's what I'm saying. You
happening.
don't. They could be saying anything.
Yeah, I mean, they could be, but that doesn't matter. You don't need to know what they're saying to know what's happening.
You don't need to know. Yeah, amen. I agree.
Oh,
No,
wow.
so my opinions on the album. I like Before We Say Goodbye, and I like all
Sorry to
the
hear that.
Okuo songs. I think those are nice, and my favorite part is when like the jazz grams go.
They do the jazz
I
thing.
fucking dig it. I love it when it does. I love it when it does that. But everything else I think is really good. Yeah.
This is your
Hell
favorite
yeah.
jazz album?
Maybe. Yeah, but as more than I don't know. No.
Is it not your least favorite jazz album?
Yes. It's definitely in the top two. The two I like.
Hell yeah. And really, what more can you ask for from people just out there making some music and making it happen? You know.
Yeah, back in 05. Got
Shout out to
1,100
05.
monthly listeners. Almost 1,200. Grinding.
Damn, they're killing it.
Yeah.
Killing it
That's
for a dead
that's
band.
almost on the high end of some of these what we have this week. We had a 2, which is Cameron's grandfather's band.
Hey,
You could
2's more
suggest-
than 0.
Yeah, you could suggest that the Five Corners Quintet is 1,000 times as popular as Russo Albert's group. Not that that would really necessarily mean anything, but you could say that.
The Russo Alberts trio,
Trio, sorry, I apologize.
I mean, they have almost twice as many members. So,
There you go.
Maybe it's justified,
Yeah.
So now you see that's also something we're going back to K-pop. The more members you have in your group, the more popular your group is.
True.
Not true.
Does anybody else have any other closing remarks about the Five Corners Quintet or jazz in general?
I think
Sorry,
Five
Jazz
Corners
is
should
good.
get the band back together.
Quintet.
That's it.
Quintet. Nice. Jazz is gay.
I
agree.
And
I agree.
I just had the biggest brain fart where I looked at the name of the band and I said, wait, the Five Corners Quintet, just because it has 5 in the name doesn't mean they have 5 members.
Well, I think it's cool too that even the names are reference to Americas because there's 5 corners in a pentagon, and we have the pentagon here.
wow.
So really, there's multiple layers for people who are really paying attention.
Yikes.
All right, Alex, you go next.
I go
I want
next.
to talk
Well,
about
okay.
major organs.
That's
and
funny.
Yeah,
anatomy.
go next. Thank
Yeah,
you.
maybe we all should just go next.
Yeah.
In Cameron's, so the album that I put up on the chopping block this week was an album by American dream pop / psychedelic pop
Okay,
performer.
okay.
grouper, aka I believe it is
Little room.
Liz Harris. So this album, I caught wind of this album via a video on YouTube entitled "Kurt Vile and Courtney Barnett, What's in My Bag," Amoeba Records, and they played a little snippet in the
Mean
video.
MOBA?
Yeah, Amoeba, exactly.
love
It's League of Legends actually. No.
Mhm.
So they played a little snippet of one of the songs off of the album, and it intrigued me enough that it was the song "Heavy Water, I'd Rather Be Sleeping," and that intrigued me enough because I was in a deep depressive episode, laying in bed. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna listen
As
to some
usual.
I'm gonna listen to some music. I've never really listened to
Music.
Gay!
dream pop or psychedelic pop or anything even remotely close to this kind of ethereal level. So I gave it a listen, and I gave it a listen a few more times while I was playing Tales of Montreal this week. Well, actually last week and this week, and just for a while. And I think it's I really like it. There's not a lot specific to the genre that I can really compare it to, like specifically, but I like the atmosphere a lot, and I think she has a very beautiful voice, and she's very good at doing the style that the music lends itself to, which is just like I'm like dead girl in the graveyard singing a song, and I think I like it a lot, and this will probably be my Christmas album this year. I'll probably have this on repeat around the Christmas time because it's wintry, it's very chill.
So it's better than most Christmas songs. I'll give you that.
Yep, and
But that's not saying a whole lot.
yeah, and that's not high praise. Yep.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear.
If you want me to go around how much I hate Christmas songs, I can.
Well,
to kick it off.
I would love to hear what everybody thought about it, and maybe maybe one of you didn't completely hate it.
The worst part about Christmas,
Okay,
is the music.
I
So
would
100%
disagree with that. But
I 100% disagree.
well, do you hate all
disagree.
Christmas music, or do you hate like the Mariah Carey type Christmas? You hate like the '40s Christmas music?
Yeah, that too. I really hate all of it. Honestly,
So what you're saying? is
I've never heard a
hate
Christmas song that I like except for like Sposes.
Okay,
But
that's
I
not
mean
my
that doesn't
Christmas
count.
music.
Yeah, exactly.
What, have you listened to the Sufjan Stevens Christmas album?
No.
Maybe you'd like that.
Does he have?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's
just
like
Sufjan, so it
2.5
doesn't
hours
count.
long, I think.
But you know, like back in the day, where like when it was Christmas time and like you were on winter break, and your mom would always just have like the Christmas music on like Sirius XM on the TV or whatever.
Yeah, from Thanksgiving until
That's just
Christmas.
trash. That shit made me angry.
Yeah, that's all. That's all
Same.
modern Christmas music.
Yeah,
Yeah. So do you,
I mean they had like the 40s shit too, like the rape song and all that.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Yeah.
Rape song.
That's what it is.
I get-
Don't leave my house because it's cold out there. It's like I really got to get back to like my family. They don't know where I am.
Yeah,
But see, that has nothing to do with this album
It's pretty
specifically.
accurate.
yeah,
Maybe around Christmas we'll not do a Christmas episode.
Yeah, thank God.
yeah. I'm good. The best part about Christmas is like the movies.
The movies are great.
So,
Movies are good.
I think the best part about Christmas is just being able to
Get drunk with your family.
just get free shit from people. Really.
Yes, I agree with the good free shit from people. That's
the free shit got old. Once I turned like 16, so.
So yeah, when you got old.
Oh yeah. The
Yeah.
free shit started getting old when they started expecting me to tell them exactly what free shit to get me, and this
The
like,
free shit got really old when I started having to also get free shit for people.
oh yeah, that too.
Wait,
Oh,
who
I don't
actually?
do that.
Yeah,
I'm a
y'all-
broke nigga.
Y'all are good human
Yeah.
beings, apparently. I just
Well, it's
say,
'cause Jack's
hey, I'm
making
in
that
college.
bow-
Go
he's
next.
making that bow stack.
I'm like making the bow money.
Making the bow band.
Yeah,
Bow
bow,
bank.
bow problems, you know.
Making bow bank.
Did you say bow money, bow problems?
But really, this is all just dancing around the subject at hand, which is Group of
Yeah.
Dragons. And you know,
so-
for all I know, maybe this discussion's more interesting than talking about the
So-
album. I'd love to hear what you guys think.
So grouper.
Maybe somebody else wants to go first. Maybe not Cameron.
I will say that grouper is a big step up from your previous choices. Artist name.
What was the last
You know,
one?
Toe was a little
yeah,
lukewarm.
Toe.
You know,
Yeah,
but.
mhm. And you know,
I
really
fuck with
going from a
Grouper.
0 to a 1 really is a step up. It's an infinite step up. Really.
You don't know that I gave it a 1. I don't know what you're talking about.
I do know that you
I
gave it a
could
1.
have changed it. I
could
could
have
have
changed
changed
it.
it. You don't know that.
I know you.
I could have changed it.
And what I will
Okay.
say is that, calling back to an earlier conversation, Cameron went into this one wanting to hate it and didn't have to try too hard.
I did not go in wanting to hate. I didn't know what the fuck it was.
But you knew that it was picked by a certain somebody.
Yeah, well, I
Really,
mean,
what more, emphasis?
that
do you
doesn't have shit to do with anything, you know? Like,
Yeah, well, the statistics would
you
beg
know,
you different.
if you had picked, like, the Church's album, it would probably still be a 3, you know? Like,
You think I would ever pick the Church's album?
it might be a 2. I mean, who knows? But, like,
Personal bias. That's what the show's all about.
but like
Yeah.
you never know till you know?
And really, when do any of us know?
So, would you like to hear the score I gave this album?
Yes.
I gave it a 2. Okay?
Wow. I'm honored.
Crazy. Okay? Because
I
like
will write about this in my journal.
the first time I listened to it, I'm pretty sure I was listening to it at like low volume, like talking to niggas, which is and like it literally you can't hear it. So I gave it a 1 because I couldn't hear it.
Same.
And like I had only heard it once when I gave it the 1.
Mhm.
And then so I listened.
You gave it
again.
the rating of how many times you listened to it.
That's what I was
Exactly.
thinking. Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe if he had started earlier, it might have been a 3. Probably not.
No. This, I don't know. Maybe if I'm real sad when I listened to it once, like it was 3 a.m. and I was like delirious again, it could get a 3. But I mean, those are
I
special.
do recommend that
circumstances.
listening, by the way. If any of you are
Yeah,
ever
well-
delirious and sad at 3 a.m., give it a try.
Well, yeah, but I would prefer not to induce that existence, but you never know.
Yeah, amen.
But yeah, I am partial to dragging a dead deer up a hill. The music was peaceful. It didn't like. There's nothing about it that I disliked other than like.
It was not a whole lot like.
There wasn't a whole lot going on.
Yeah, it's much.
I feel
more
like if there were like a little more going on instrumentally, I would actually like it.
I think,
but sometimes it just doesn't really hold your attention. But
well, I guess it just depends because I feel like if there was more instruments, then it would have distracted from like. It's I guess the album's much more about building the atmosphere and just kind of like the vocal element. So it's just the guitar really most of the time, and then some kind of tape loop sort of stuff, like on the like going on in the background, which I think is really all it needs to be. Because I feel like it's at the point that you start putting way too much stuff into it, you get like, I don't know, you know, too many cooks in the kitchen type stuff, you know.
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
Yeah, you know.
Too
Sorry.
many.
So I'm honored, Cameron, that you gave it an honest listen, or two even. That's two more honest listens than I thought Grouper was gonna get.
Is it?
Honestly, yes. Because I think
really?
I'm thinking of albums that I listen to. I think that this album could be perceived to be more
I thought Cameron
boring.
would like this album. I listened to this,
I'm
I'm like, this is
like
finally Cameron's gonna like an album.
I almost like the album.
I think that out of everything that I picked, if I had to go and think in Cameron's mindset about which one I think would be the most boring, I would have picked this one to be more boring than anything I picked thus far.
See, like you don't know me because you picked Isocop under the pretense of like what folk album would I hate the least, and like you hit or miss, and I guess they never hit.
I still think that Isocop is the album you would hate the least.
Jack, shut up.
Also,
if you say it, I'm gonna beat you.
You got a boyfriend
Oh my God.
You got another girl, you won't miss it.
He's gonna skirt it and hit the down like Wiz Khalifa.
What I meant to say though is that I think that when I picked the Isokov album, I think it still is the folk album that you would hate the least out of stuff that I would listen to. But what I mean is like, so I expected this to be what you thought on your first listen, but just that's it. Like you wouldn't have listened to it a second time under a different context and had more of a different understanding. I thought it would have just been the first listen and that's the verdict, which is what I expected, and you know, pleasantly surprised that that's not necessarily where it went, but. I'm not sure if we really overcame that hurdle too great.
Because, I mean, the problem is now it's hard for me to listen to music since I have less time where I just literally sit here, like, with my headphones on and just put on music. Usually if I'm doing that, it would at least be on my speakers, which means that I'm paying less attention to the music because, like, I'm usually cooking or washing dishes or shaving.
Sitting down.
Or, like, I don't know, like, it's inspecting my testicles for, like, lumps or, you know, just, like, whatever have you. So, like, it's hard to be in the music, and this is one of the things that you usually have to be in. So, like, it's very possible that if I just happen to find this album at, like, 3 a.m., and that was my introduction to it, then I would, like, it could be a 3, it could be a 4. I mean, you never know, but that's just not how shit went. It probably wouldn't be a 4, but it could be a 3.
I think it's more about the atmosphere than anything else. So it's not even, like, even if you can't hear anything that's going on, I feel like as long as you get the gist that it's like, this is haunting. And
yeah,
like,
but I think why like Youth Pictures is like more because like Youth Pictures has like a more full sound. Like it has like
Youth Pictures is also not a dream pop album.
Yeah, it's also not a dream pop album, but they're in the same like vein to me of like their purpose is to be atmospheric. So
fair enough.
And like sad-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So. I mean, like, even if it's, like, different genres, like, I mean, all that music is, like, almost in its own, like, genre, like, of itself. Yeah. Like, I feel like this is more to, like, Youth Pictures than Youth Pictures is to, like, Godspeed, you know, at the end of the day.
That's fair.
Even though they're, like, you couldn't call them the same genre, really.
You couldn't call them the same quality either, am I right?
Also, I didn't go... There's a bit of a problem going in this album where, like, you said it was dream pop, and I didn't know what dream pop was, so I expected it to sound different just based on that qualifier. Yeah, I don't know what dream pop is still.
I feel like it's more of like this one is more of like a mash. It's like half psychedelic pop, half dream pop. Because like when you get to just pure, because like I didn't exactly know off the top of my head what differences were between some genres. Because I read that basically there was a point where dream pop was used interchangeably with shoegaze.
Yeah, that's
So
how I'm familiar with usage.
Yeah, so that's why I was confused as to, I was like, oh, so, because I listened to something that was just a straight dream pop, and I was like, oh, that doesn't sound anything like this. It's not, like, I think the atmospheric element is, like, the psychedelic pop, and then the vocal performance is more of the dream pop, like, portion, if I had to say. Like, if I had to break it down like that. I don't know if I wouldn't do that thread that was, like, the dream pop general, I don't know if I would necessarily post this one first. But
Fair enough.
that's more or less aside.
You better than the synth pop general. So.
Yeah, amen, Lavrin. What did you think, Cruz?
Um,
I know this is in your wheelhouse.
The first time I listened to this album, I listened to it in the car, driving by myself, and
You could go off a bridge.
I think halfway through I was like, okay, I'm gonna fall asleep. So for
Stand
my own
up, you're asleep at the
safety,
wheel.
I need to turn this album off, which is not inherently a bad thing. I just didn't want to die. So, yeah, I did prior to contrary belief. Right? I'm not out here. I'm not like.
Yeah. If you don't want to die, this isn't the album for you.
Yeah. So
albums to die to.
Then the second time I listened to it, I had a reading session. I should probably have been studying, and I wasn't. But I was reading Kobo Abe's The Boxman, and I was fucking vibing with it. Like I wasn't paying attention to like anything, but it fit the book really well. So I was like, man, this is fucking awesome. So I read like 80 pages in one sitting, and I was fucking vibing. So. It gets an okay from me.
It's like a third of the book.
Yeah, it is like the third of the book. That's what I was thinking. I was like, damn, we're fucking killing it out here.
This is in the reading rotation.
It will be. I need to finish that. I think the book's overdue, but there's no repercussions for it, so I don't give a shit.
Goddamn.
I got to finish one book this semester. So yeah, I liked it. I think it all sounds the same. It's easy to zone out to. Her voice is great. She's doing a great job. The whole album could be one song and it would be the same.
But in a good way.
Yeah, nothing stands out to me as like, oh yeah, that's the fucking song. It's like just one big atmospheric thing, and I probably wouldn't go to sleep to it. Probably have nightmares.
I have gone to sleep to this album. And I think it's good. It's good to fucking take a nap too. If you don't care if you wake up. Am I right, boy?
I'm a millennial. I love dying.
Yeah.
If you don't want to die, this isn't the album for you.
Yes, Queen.
Okay. Oh, bitch.
Yeah.
What did you think, Jack?
It's very funny that
It's a very funny album.
That Cruz. No, it's very funny that Cruz brought up the idea of it being all one song and that being a good thing, because something I was thinking during my first listen to this album is, wow, this all sounds the same. Maybe that's not actually a good thing.
Well, historically, you are not a fan of could be all one song albums.
Yeah.
As we've seen,
Cruz
like this is like the third time at least.
Yeah, and historically, Cruz is a fan of that. So I mean, yeah, it's a. But yeah. Oh, and also I want to I want to double up on what Cameron was saying about his first listen, where it was like he just didn't like.
It was literally at an ASMR volume, and I wasn't paying attention.
During my first listen, I kind of so I started with only one headphone in because I was at work. I wanted to be able to hear when people called me to do shit, and I had this moment like halfway through like the second song where it's like, am I missing something? Is there some like hard panning going on where I'm like missing half the album? And I put in the other headphone and I'm like, nope, this is just what the album is.
Expecting more.
So also another thing I want to kind of push back on is the idea of this being psychedelic pop. something I realize that's what the Wikipedia page says, but something I've realized is a lot more reliable than Wikipedia when it comes to genres is Rate Your Music.
You rate your music, so random people who think they know everything about music can tell you what the album is. That's fair.
Or so that a bunch
Or
of random
critics,
people
yeah.
can
What did
vote,
they call
and the
this one?
people
Was this also a jazz album?
they call it psychedelic folk or ambient,
Psychedelic
which is
folk.
much,
Okay.
Yeah, cause
much
like,
more,
yeah, cause that's my thing. Is like, I'm not sure if this is pop in any
Yeah,
sense of the
in any
word
regard.
ever.
Yeah, it does have
But-
it does have dream pop as one of the like subgenres, the
Amen.
secondary genres. But I mean, I would definitely, considering like what else I think of when I hear the words when I both hear dream pop and psychedelic pop, definitely would not describe
Tame
that.
Impala.
Tame Impala, which is the best band of all time, by the way. If you disagree, you're
Yikes.
bad. Tame Impala's Currents is the best album ever.
Ever made.
We'll get them on the
Ever made.
podcast
Whoa.
one week.
But it's actually the second best because the best is Tame Impala's Inner Speaker.
No, it's lonerism.
No, in
Well, we're out of albums to argue about.
What's the
Both
other
funny.
one? There's one more, right?
No, it's just it's Inner Speaker, Lonerism,
Currents B-sides.
Currents B-sides. All right.
But anyway, this album, I think I am not the audience for this.
Yeah, it's not Japanese.
It's not Japanese. It's not synth pop. There's no waifu. I mean, I guess there is a
There's
waifu.
no
if I-
waifu,
if
no
I-
slapping beats.
If I really want, if I
There's
really
no
want to,
bad bitch.
yeah, she a girl, but she ain't a bad bitch, you know.
He ain't thick.
That is one thing there is if you on the vinyl, the album cover's in black and white, which I think looks better than it in color, at least to me. And the album
Oh,
cover
that
in
makes it
color
a
is
bad bitch. That makes her a bad bitch.
I just think that the album cover looks better like that because you mentioned. I'm assuming the fact that you mentioned something about her being female was.
Oh no, I mean I know.
I guess you can probably tell she's a
singer.
woman if you listen close
Yeah.
enough. But
Yeah, when it's
If you
above
listen at all-
ASMR.
If you have both headphones in.
you have both headphones in, you can tell if you don't have one
Oh,
headphone in the oil.
I thought it was definitely not for me. I don't think I like it at all, honestly.
Respect the honesty.
It's just so
I'm a fool.
it's so ambient. It's so there's only ever 3 sounds in any song, right? There's only ever acoustic guitar, and the guitar parts are not interesting. They're just like strumming chords. It's fine, but you need to have more going on if you're gonna do that, I feel. Or you need to have like, yeah, you need to have something else going on that's interesting if you're just gonna be strumming guitar chords. And
If it's trying to be ambient, why would they want to put anything else in there, Jack?
well, I don't particularly.
You gotta
care
think.
for
You gotta think. You gotta
I
think
don't
in the
care for
mind of the
ambient music,
performer.
so fuck off.
I don't like ambient music either.
Then why are you giving suggestions? I'll just make this shit a different genre.
No, I'm just saying.
What they should do
No,
is
I'm
they should
just
bring a
saying
synthesizer in, get 3 people from Scotland, and just liven the party a little bit. You know? CHVRCHES,
Yeah, they
you
need
know?
some like
Reverses. Groffer.
And Liz and Lavrin
Groffer.
together.
Groover. But yeah, so I'm not trying to like say, oh, this should be different. I'm just saying like, in
You're saying
general,
that it
I
shouldn't be
don't.
what it is.
I'm just saying that I don't like what it is. Yeah, so like, there's only
And
ever 3
remember,
sounds.
kids, if somebody doesn't like what you are, that means you should change.
hell yeah.
That's what
I'm
Jack's
not
telling you.
telling you that
Hell
to
yeah.
change. I'm just saying things that I'm not. I did not say this needs to be different. I'm just saying like, you know, in general, if it's going to be something that I would like, it would be
It needs to be different.
yes, exactly.
It needs to lose some weight and get a boob job for you to really be into it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Type shit.
But
because it's
no,
not pretty the way it is.
But so like, right, only ever 3 sounds. It's the guitar, the vocals, which some interesting layering stuff, which I suppose is the entire point. And then there's sometimes some like.
I'd layer.
Do you even know what she looks like?
Yeah.
Not really. But she sings like this, she's gotta be kind of hot.
So you just
You
did it
can
for
go on to
me.
Spotify. She
Yeah,
kind
you
of looks
don't-
like the boss from MGS3, except ethnic.
Yeah, you don't make this shit unless you're super sad. So I'm down with that. I'm down with
I
sadness.
love being sad.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I see what you mean, Cameron. I don't like that.
That's actually like exactly what she looks like. It's kind of weird.
But yeah, so like the vocal layering stuff was interesting when I was hearing it, but like it was not consistently prominent enough for me to feel like it was interesting enough to carry the album. Which this is just me not liking ambient music, basically. Whatever.
It's kind of like when I was saying what rock should do different. Just make it less happy and get some black people.
Exactly.
Type shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad that we had 3 different takes on it. That's something I wasn't expecting.
You were expecting just shit.
I was expecting universal acclaim.
Oh yeah,
From
yeah.
absolutely nobody.
The 85 on Metacritic.
Yeah, I was expecting the album to be critically panned, actually. But
Can you
know,
have sex to this music?
can you? Yeah, yes.
Well,
yes,
You can have sex to anything.
I'll tell you right now.
You can stick your dick in anything. I mean,
I'll tell you right now. This is in the rotation.
XD.
That's all I can
Yeah,
see.
Wow.
I have a list set aside of music that I would when it gets hot and heavy with my misses. That I will try to pull these songs out, and kind of see if she'll allow it. And this is near the bottom of things that I think she'd allow.
Yeah, I was about to say this shouldn't be your go-to.
Yeah, but near the top of things that I would 100% like vibe with
If they
she
were.
let me. Yeah, because it'd be euphoric. I feel like I was in church.
You mean churches?
Yeah, but in a good way. Yeah, I feel like I was in
Introvert.
Traverge.
Yeah, shivers in the pussy,
Goddamn.
We're getting kind of raunchy.
But I absolutely love psychedelic folk music.
Hell yeah. I love
And,
music.
I think that she didn't name herself after the fish, but the fact that whenever I type in group where I get the fish before her, it just means that she's got to get a little more famous.
I don't think
She's a lot of listeners.
She's got 360K. She doesn't have as much as CHVRCHES, obviously, but then again,
360
she's not Scottish.
Times more.
I'm just a fucking guy in check. Oh yeah, 2.5.
It's definitely the fact that they're Scottish that gives them the plays,
Absolutely. I mean, I bet you 3.5 million of those are Brandon.
Hell yeah.
And on that note, unless anybody has anything else they'd like to add, there's only one more album left in the podcast.
Oh damn! I thought.
And it's a doozy.
It is a doozy.
Indeed it
I'm
is.
of course referring to Cruz's second album of the week. Cruz, what else did you pick? No. I'm kidding.
Lay it on.
So,
This is a section of the show where we talk about musicians who need to make more music. When's the next Jim Croce album, for example?
yeah,
Well,
well,
none of the musicians who allegedly
when's the next Jeff Mangum album? Yeah.
We'll keep dropping
So,
new material when soon, hopefully.
Major Organ in the Adding Machine is the debut effort by Major Organ in the Adding Machine, the legendary big band grunge metal synth pop band.
Okay.
I don't think any of those are right. But
Where this is going.
I don't think any of those are even
I'm
close.
listening. I'm listening.
Oh, coming out hot in 2001, the good year.
Turn of the millennium. Hell yeah.
The type shit. This album provides many great tips for life and solves many of the life quandaries I was having as a young buck, 16 or 17, however old the fuck I
How
was
did you come
when
across this album, Cameron?
Alex tried to meme on me. So how I found this stupid ass album, it's crazy. Alex,
That's me.
a common theme in my life, for better or for worse, showed me water dripping on bread makes bread taste not so tasty. Track 14, under the pretense of me not liking the album, and he was
I show him all music on the pretense that he won't like it, and so far we're batting 1,000.
Yeah, and so far we're batting 1,000, but you had a couple missteps early on. You had a couple slip ups.
A couple slip ups that turned into 10s.
Yeah, a couple slip ups that turned into 10s, but so. And I was listening to Water Dripping on Bread Makes Bread Taste Not So Tasty, and for the first, like 20 seconds, I was like, what the fuck is this garbage, right? Like, I was just being assaulted with noise. This is the pre-street sex Cameron. This is the pre-black dresses Cameron. I was a young lad. I was my ears were virgins, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So But
you didn't
then,
like shit. You didn't go outside.
but then the magic happened.
Oh god, is this like Cruise's Neutral Milk Hotel? Is this the album that did it?
I got hit. This is probably the album that did it. I got hit with I got hit with the congratulations, thank you. And that shit changed my life. I was instantly filled because I think I was talking to him like as I was listening to the song. I was like live tweeting like the song to this man. And then once the congratulations, thank you hit, I was filled with an intense sense of just mirth.
Would you say that you reached level 2?
I think in that moment I may have reached level 2.
It took Spider-Man 8 years. But he
So,
made it.
so yeah, just I felt like I was being congratulated and thanked, even though they were talking to each other. I felt like they were really talking to me, and it just made
that far in the song. Nothing. Continue. I apologize.
And it just made me feel good.
And that's what music's here to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, it made me
so.
feel good, and then I proceeded to listen to the whole album at some point. You know, who the fuck knows when. And I told myself I was not going to say the S word when referring to this album, so I'm gonna try to avoid that. This album is what it really is.
I thought you meant supergroup. I was like, why can't you say supergroup?
I thought the S word was like I was like, wait, I thought they were all white in this band.
Because what this really is,
the S word soy. Like,
soy boy music.
you know, what I realized, probably like a month into listening to Street Sex, is that Street Sex is edgy Major Organ and Adding Machine, and Major Organ and Adding Machine is whimsical Street Sex.
Is whimsical Street Sex. That's a band, not a pastime.
Whimsical Street Sex is solid, but and then it all made sense. Like my life came full circle in that moment, or at least one aspect of it. Things come full circle a lot, but it came full circle with this in a pretty profound way. So I actually, you know, back when I was a cringe lord, you know, I believed in the concept of ironically enjoying things. I wasn't sure whether I ironically or unironically enjoyed this album. However, my new school of thought, which is ironically enjoying things is played out, means that I unironically enjoy this because I just enjoy it. Like, I actually like the music. Like, and the parts that, like, aren't really music, like, just blend in, and you could, like, zone out. And then when it becomes music again, like, you start paying attention again. And it just works really well. So, yeah, I would love to hear y'all's thoughts. Lifeform transmission received is a banger. I just want to make that clear. And yeah. That's my spiel.
Major Organ in the Adding Machine. The
Adding Machine.
I wish they were in it.
I was gonna say, seeing as this is
And it's elusive who's in the band, because they go on stage and they got the masks. You never know who's in the supergroup of Jeff Mangum.
all the extensive touring they do.
Yeah.
Jeff Mangum.
Jeff Mangum, the lead singer of Montreal, and people who play instruments. That is the supergroup, and it's just the brainchild. And who knows? The instrument players could have actually been all of the creativity, because you know, the only creative bone in Jeff Mangum's body was into one album. So, and that's why I couldn't make anything else.
Yeah, On Avery Island's one of my favorites too.
I love On Avery Island, but I love this album. It's great.
Wait. So if his first album was On Avery Island, right?
Yeah,
and then he took
every album.
What?
Alex, shut up.
And then he took an airplane over the sea. Where did he go? What was his destination?
His destination was he had to go visit his uncle who was a major in the army, Major Organ.
Mm-hmm.
And had to bring
he was good at math.
Yeah, and then if you notice that Jeff Mangum hasn't done a fucking thing since.
Ain't shit changed. The nigga's out there booling somewhere, living frugal. I respect it.
He's probably making a lot of royalties now.
From what?
Yeah.
They play this music anywhere.
They gotta play somewhere.
Just the Spotify
Bitches
listens,
listen to it.
and then the record company.
Yeah, that shit has like
Reprinting
what?
it.
I guess
It
he
has
still
like at
tours,
least
actually.
a million,
To be fair,
right?
he still tours.
He still tours.
Yeah, you're not supposed to film his shows, but
He
he
tours.
just doesn't. He was touring as recent as a couple years ago, at least.
Okay.
Maybe
I thought he
next to
didn't.
5
He
years
stopped touring.
I mean, tour makes money. So
Yeah, that's probably why he's touring, because he's not getting a lot of royalties and stuff. That's pretty much the only reason you tour. Not the only reason, but that's a big part of touring.
Or he just can't do anything else.
Or, fair enough.
No, but this album, it's a banger. It's a banger. It truly inspires all waves of thinking. It'll break down your mind spectrum, open it up. You know, it's fucking great. Every song's a banger. What don't you like the Fireman's guitar, Transmission? Hell yeah, dude. Like, what is else to say? This is a 10 out of 10.
the guitar on Life Form is like, that shit's insane. Like, it's an actual song, and then it's just you have to
Caught
be
me off
big
guard.
brain to really feel it. Because it's the most like an actual song on the whole album. And it's actually just the best song on the album, low key.
In a strange way, the fact that it's actually the most normal makes it stand out the most.
Yeah.
That is true.
What did you think, Jack? I know you're into French house
Interesting
music.
stuff.
This isn't a French house album. I'm just making an observation.
Whenever it did sound like they were actually trying to make a song, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was it's quirky, it's nice. But
I think it's a
Whimsical.
little more than quirky. I think it's past quirky to the point where it's
But the points where it's just like, tape loops. It's just like, wow.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
thank you.
Congratulations, thank you. Congratulations, thank you. Congratulations, thank you. Congratulations,
the-
thank you.
Powdered Abe Lincoln right after Francisco's victory.
Mhm.
That song's just like a tape loop.
Did y'all actually like? It's 23 seconds. Like, what are you doing?
I
Did
know,
y'all
but-
actually?
I know that it says 23 seconds, but like I had to like pull it out my phone and look and see what's the title of this tape loop.
I'm sorry, this isn't like Sebastian, where like the best songs are the interludes. You know?
Hell
Like,
yeah.
It,
top.
it went the opposite way this time, you know. Did y'all catch the story of Madame Truffle?
No.
I caught lots and lots of references to Madame Truffle on the
Yeah, so Madame Truffle, from what I understand, I haven't looked up any of the lyrics, but from what I understand of the lyrics, which is not exactly my forte, understanding song lyrics, Madame Truffle is really good at making pastries. And, like, she's, like, just a legendary pastry maker in the town. And then, like, all the parents tell their kids that, like, she got her recipes from the elves. Like, that's just what she tells them. But apparently, she, like, has kids, like, trapped in her cellar or some shit, or in, like, a big-ass shoebox or some stupid shit.
Yeah.
And, like, they make them for her or something, or, like, she uses them to make the truffles
couldn't
and
tell
other
if she-
things.
I couldn't tell if it was a Hansel and Gretel, like the secret ingredient is children.
Yeah,
if it's,
or
like,
if,
the children
like-
do it.
Yeah, I don't know. But I do know that Francisco and the rest of the army
On the
saves
low point of
them.
the album for me.
And Francisco is an angel, and they'll never
Is
forget.
it?
Yeah, we'll never forget them.
It's my least
So,
favorite song on the album.
it's your least favorite song on the album?
It's probably like my second least favorite. I really don't like Francisco's Victory personally.
I like it. Well,
I don't like that there was like he's just talking to me for a minute.
yeah, for listening pleasure, it's not actually that great, but I like that
It's the
there's
whole
like a
word.
story in the album. I feel like if it just
Came
didn't
back.
have a story, I'd like it a lot less. But
I could, yeah. I think it's
I
interesting
don't
that you
know.
can actually
I
follow the
like-
story.
yeah, I like the idea that like just in this fucking meme of an album, there's just like there's just a story being told across multiple songs. I don't know. It adds something to it that like I don't know. I feel like it's very special.
Not a lot of albums tell stories. Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. But
This album's also in the sex rotation.
Same.
Because I really like the idea that the first time I'm through, or the first time that I'm going for it, right? I won't be able to last very long, so I can put on water dripping on bread, and about the time that I'm ready to finish, it'll start saying congratulations, and I can start saying thank you. And I'll say, hey, I need you to say congratulations, and and I feel like I'm really rewarded for my hard work.
You ever
and
give her
effort.
the victory handshake after?
I've never had the opportunity to even
The
touch a
sportsmanlike
woman.
conduct.
I give her a player com afterwards. I give her the team player com.
Give her the congratulations, thank you.
I really I like the elements of this album a lot. I like when they make songs that I can kind of listen to and be like, that's like this is kind of like a garage rock song, or this one's deeply psychedelic, or this one's almost like a little surf rock tune. The ones that I don't like are the ones like Un, Deux, Trois, or Swimming, Laughing, Playing.
Un Deux Trois is a very interesting song.
Where we're just gonna do some weird shit with the vocals that are gonna make you kind of uncomfortable. Those two I didn't like. But my favorite song on the album was Madden Truffle's Next Ingredient, because it had like
Because it's instrumental?
It had like a cello or something in it that I thought was really fucking cool. I thought it sounded... It comes in about 40 seconds in, and I think it was a cello. It sounded too big to be like a viola or a violin. I wasn't exactly 100% sure what it was, but I think it was a cello. And I thought it sounded fucking great. And that's when I started noticing the Madame Truffle trilogy, really. That came by. And I also liked his Mister's Pet Whistles, because that was kind of like a 60s like influence song, which I thought was really cool. And
that's one of my favorite songs. Just because we don't want to kill you, you just want to go home.
Yeah. And I thought that Water Dripping on Bread was one of the, like, that's the kind of thing that you find in, like, one of those everything is terrible. Or, like, just, like, some random, like, YouTube poop thing, where it's, like, some really old video from, like, the 70s or 80s, and they just keep, looping it, you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of thing where it's, like, but that sort of stuff's, like, that sort of comedy and stuff is, like, is on, like, the same time period as this album came out in. So it's hard for me to necessarily say that this album created that or that this album was influenced by that. I think maybe if we were to say anything, that I think that Major Organ and the Adding Machine invented YouTube poop, or just even the concept of doing poop in general. And I thought it was pretty good. I gave it a 7 out of 10, and this is in the sex rotation near the top of She Might Say Yes, and hopefully and I'll be into it too.
God, that's so Chadley.
I can tell you right now that if
this is Chad music.
If you listeners out there are having sex and she wants to listen to Major Organ and the Adding Machine, she's a keeper.
If she's ever heard of Major Organ and the Adding Machine,
because if you break up with her, she'll probably fucking stab you with something if she listens to this music.
I don't know what you mean.
This music is for fucking freaks. If a woman wants to listen, she's a freak, and that's just you do what you will with that information. You take the risks you will with that. And I'm honored that I was able to usher Cameron in to a new phase of his life with this album, as I did with Cruz and as I did with Jack.
What'd you do with me?
I seem to remember linking you a very specific British acid funk band.
That's kind of
the only reason that you listen to any of the music you listen to nowadays, and even if you don't believe that, that's what I believe.
I mean, it is very not true to say that is the reason I listen to any music I listen to nowadays, but I do very much like that band, and I very much appreciate that you linked it to me.
Mm-hmm. And it's just the price. It's just I don't charge you for my services. And one day one of you's gonna give me something that I really enjoy, but alas.
Well, now that someone mentioned, Alex mentioned the fact that there's a Madame Truffle trilogy of sorts.
Oh, is there a saga?
Well, I mean, it's just once you said something like that, I noticed that there are a lot of repetitive phrases in the titles.
Yes.
Correlates to something I realized during my second or third listen on this album, where I realized in some of the earlier songs that there were tape loops of some of the later songs in the earlier songs, particularly I'm pretty sure it's Francisco's Fanfare, the 6th track. I don't know if it's actually that one, but there's just a sample of the singing of Francisco from Francisco's Victory at the end of the album. So I mean, it's cyclical, it's It's deep.
It is sick.
It's lickle.
One element that I did really enjoy on the same kind of thing is the part where a song will end, and then the beginning of the next song on the track listing is the actual end of the song you were just listening to. So
Hell
you'll
yeah.
think that, for example, I had one listed here, Moon Pie Eye Sensation. You actually think that the song's about 15 seconds longer than it actually is because the first little bit of swimming, laughing, playing is the actual end of Moon Pie Eye Sensation, which I think is like one of the biggest Chad moves you can make in music. And I also really one of my favorite things that I completely glossed over is the fact that the last 40-second life form transmission received is 4 minutes and 54 seconds, and the song gets quieter as it goes on, and the last minute of the song is just nothing.
Yeah,
There's
a hidden track.
Which I think is also a massive Chad play.
I love that shit.
Because that's God tier. Because I'm like, oh, the album's over, and then I'm like, the album can't be over. I haven't heard the What a Wonderful World cover, and I was like, oh, it's actually just trolling me. It's like the album's actually a major look.
There's also a lot of silence in between Barry's lung and water dripping on bread.
That is true.
I like how with this, it's a cool troll thing, but when Caius did the
but Caius did.
Yeah, but Caius did like the stupid the guitar thing, and like that's.
Well, the other thing too is that Caius made actual songs for half the album and then did some stupid shit. They didn't advertise themselves as a whimsical fucking experimental band. They just said we smoke a lot of weed and we're gonna make some music. And maybe you'll like it. Maybe
they
you
also
won't.
don't have the person who created Avery Island.
On
Neutral Milk
on
Hotel.
Avery Island,
or the
best
man who
album of all time.
The man who sings the vocals on Hissing Fauna or some shit like that.
Yeah, or the guy from Olivia Tremor Control.
Mm-hmm. Which is also Olivia Tremor Control is kind of closer to this than anything else, but it's not not nearly as good.
I have to control my tremoring when I listen to Major Organ in the Adding Machine.
I actually recommended this album to someone last night.
Oh, God bless your soul.
the bassist of Dinner Time.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I fuck with Dinner Time.
Hell yeah.
Does Dinner Time play every week at the Pablo?
No, there's only been two Pablo things. And that was the first time they were there this year. Or the
when was the other time you saw Dinner Time then?
It was the radio show official thing at Clemson.
Oh, whatever. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, you're getting in with him. You're establishing a musical connection.
Yeah. He was like, "What do you listen to?" And I was like, "I listen to Major Organ in the Adding Machine."
That I don't actually listen to.
And he was like, "Oh, what's that like?" It's like, "Have you ever heard of Neutral Milk Hotel?" And he's like, "Yes." And it was like, "Have you ever heard of Montreal?" And it's like, "Yes." And then it's like it's like that, and then I showed it to him.
Lie right to his face.
He's not gonna go fucking listen to it. Hell yeah! But everybody should though.
Yeah, you gotta get in it. You gotta get those musical connections so that when we're starting our band, we got the friends we can call up to if we need some favors,
If you're a listener out there, and you think you might want to listen to this album, and you go on the Wikipedia page and read about it and read the critical reception side, just know that there's not actually like abrasive sound collage elements. It's just weird. Like that's really all there is to it. Is that there's not actually anything like.
It's not harsh noise.
It's not like you're listening to like a car accident. You're just listening to nonsense.
I would say that there are actually some things on this that is a little bit abrasive.
Have you listened to it's not noise metal, which is really what the reviewers were trying to make it out to be. Like you were listening to two machines.
Maybe in 01.
Rusty machines.
Maybe in 01 this is just like some wild shit.
Well, but even then, that was now, but maybe it's abrasive in 01.
But in the post-Street Sex Society, it's
well, I think Street Sex is on like the tail end of that movement anyway, but that's fair, I guess. Old folks might not be into
old folks home.
I do want to say that there are some sounds on this that I found particularly annoying. Particularly, there was a couple of very high-pitched, not really screechy. There was some uncomfortably high-pitched sounds.
So
good in the albums. That's not so good as a way to put it, but okay. Okay.
You're hating.
It's like
so
it's
good,
like
and-
Matt. It's like I'm gonna play the forbidden note, and then just plays it for like 3 minutes, and it's like, yes, this is the real music.
This is music.
This is music for people who have ears.
I would argue that on a certain level, this is both music and not music. And I think that's really what the line that every musician should strive to tread.
I would dare to say this is post music. This is what comes after music.
Actually, you know what I would say? Chris?
Whoa.
I would honestly say, and I think this is pre-music. I think
No.
everything that we know about music starts here.
I think pre-music would be like classical and jazz, and then
No,
post-music.
because
is
that's not
major
music
organ
at
in the
all.
adding
That's
machine.
just noise. This is the first album that we can truly. This is proto-music.
Everything
Proto
before
music.
2001 was a
Was
waste
not real
of time, and it
No,
wasn't
no.
music.
It's everything
Fuck all that
before this
bullshit.
album. It's not even 2001. It's this album. And so I think we can all safely say that Major Organ and the Adding Machine will be making a guest appearance at a politician's rally near you.
I hope so. I really hope so. I'll be there. And
God bless.
God, I wish they would tour.
I
That'd be so
don't know if I do.
dope. So
I
It'd be-
do.
That'd
It'd be an
so
interesting show.
Dope. They'll wear masks. It's like
I
a
want to know
play.
the kind of people that would go see Major Organ and the Adding Machine
Me.
perform live. No, but I don't. I want
Me.
to know. I want to know if there's people out there that like are snobby.
I would
about
be
this album.
moshing. Oh my god.
No, I don't know. I don't know. That's not. I mean, like psychologically, I wonder if there's people out there who would go to a show and say something, like just have conversations, or the kind of people who argue online to people about, the position of this album relative to other music, and just their thoughts on is everything that's not experimental to these people just a futile exercise, or would they think that everything is experimental in its own way? Who are we
Everything's
to
a
say?
futile exercise.
Yeah, and maybe that's the case too. And who are we to say?
Ooh, I lost the plot.
You know it's not futile? Make it easy, man.
Yes.
You know it's not futile? Smashing that motherfucking like button. and
That
subscribing to our channel.
motherfucking like button.
And subscribing to the channel.
Smash that like
Follow
button.
Chris on Twitter. He's not going to post anything relevant, but
He ain't posting a motherfucking thing.
I don't think
Cruz
I
likes to
posted
post his
anything.
own ruminations, which I think is
Yes.
really what you should be
His
subscribing to.
own thought processes.
Yeah, they might. It might not reflect the views of
the board
of
of directors.
WTM and the board of trustees, so it might not be the best place.
But rest assured, they reflect my views.
Yeet.
All
I
right.
think that was a very
Any-
productive
any
radio
closing
show.
statements? Oh, I didn't stop it, dude. All right. See you
Yeah,
next week.
I know. I was just saying. I'm saying to the audience that I am confident. in
the
our
show
own
that
passion.
no one has heard yet, including us, has been great, and everybody should listen to it. That's Chadley. That's some major organ adding machine right there.
God bless you listeners at home. And
Yes.
we all hope that you have a great day. And
Have a safe trip.
Hell yeah. See you next.
Have a good night.
See you next week.
Nature.